Hello and welcome back to Coven, where today I'm going to do a build. I'm not really sure what to call it, to be honest, because it's kind of like this, it's connected to the entrance build I did earlier. So I plan on doing this little bit here, which is connected to the resident services. This area here, which I've already terraformed, and this cliff, which I've already half terraformed. I kind of like the silhouette of it, but I honestly don't know what I'm going to do. So it's really thin because I kind of want this here, but I honestly don't know how much yet. So I'll just do the facade and I'll work out the rest later. I also have this area where I have all my storage, lots of items, all my flowers, this present that I randomly shot down. I don't know if I'll get all the way up to this build that I did last time, but the idea is to have this sort of to connect a little bit, as well as I like this item here, so I thought I'd put here this cliff area. So I don't know if I'll do all of it, but I certainly do want to do on top where I have moved Gloria's house. So I suppose I'll get into it. I have plenty of items. I have plenty of trees and bushes laid out of various types, and also sizes. There's so much I have to do to collect everything. It's so much work, and I've gone around placing where I want my trees and my bushes to perhaps go sort of like as a guideline. So I suppose I'll get right into it. I've already had a few things to eat. I'll keep going because there's a lot of trees, there's a lot of things to move. So let's get into it, I suppose. Hello, future Mumsy here. This was definitely a long build, so I thought it would be better for me to do a voiceover today. As you can see, I'm starting off with the resident service entry, and there's not an awful lot to do here because it's such a small space, but it is an important area. So I spent a fair bit of time just messing with the arrangement and making little adjustments because I want it to look cohesive with my previous build and also not too obstructive to the view. I finish up with a bit of fencing, check the view a couple more times, and then add a couple of the custom designs to the path there. These are actually the custom designs I picked out to use for my other island, Bramble. But I love them so much, the plant patterns in particular, I love so much, I decided to use them on this build too. Moving on, and I go up the stairs to decorate this right hand side cliff where Gloria's house is. I find it much easier to start with the areas on the outer closer to my previous build, as I can see how well they look together, or if I might need to move some of my tree placements if they happen to block the view, or if they just seem too cluttered. But besides the tree and the bushes, I'm doing a lot of glow moss and wheat fields. I love my wheat fields, so I can give off that natural vibe. I also tend to concentrate this around the base of trees, as I think this looks best personally. I have left myself some items in all the areas that I might want to use. Here I've left myself some items to decorate in the middle of my path here that I've left. And I end up placing a well and a bucket. I didn't do any of the floor patterns previously, so quickly I decided to put them down. I don't like the sort of clean look underneath it, so I do end up using quite a lot more on the right hand side later. Maybe I use too much, but I love them at the moment and I can't help myself. And under the tree here I'm using those patterns. I think it gives off the look that the tree leaves have fallen down, and there's just a dead tree in the middle, and that's what I was really going for. I wanted to give it that sort of aesthetic, so that's just my thought at that particular time. With the fencing, I'm trying not to use too much. I don't want it to look too enclosed since it's such a small area. And I also prefer the horizontal look of the fence over a vertical one, so I avoided using them on the left and right hand side. And Patty was really getting in the way at this point, and she decided she was going to stick with me the entire time I was up here. I'm just doing my finishing touches, and then I'm popping down to this side of the cliff where the vines are to create a little nook, or to give the impression that some of the items are kind of overflowing onto the lower level here. I really don't know what I'm going to do down here, but for now I'm just going to do this little corner, but I'm not going to do too much since I have no idea what I'm doing on the sort of build of the beachfront area. And moving on to my cliff and waterfall area. So like I said before, it's more of a facade. I'm not going to decorate too seriously, especially up on the upper levels, because I don't know what I'm going to be doing later on. Maybe I'm going to put an incline over on the left and make it accessible, but it might be purely decorative. So until I know what I'm doing with my build above this section, I'm not going to commit to anything. And like always, it's mostly trees and wheat fields to give it that sort of natural look. This build has used so many trees, I end up running out of trees, and I have to collect a whole bunch the entire time, and bushes. But once again, I'm not doing too much detail other than the front side of this cliff, as I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do later on. But honestly, I really think it looks good, I'm really happy with it, and I'm really looking forward to finishing it off properly later on with my next build. I really do love this little area with the bridge. The autumn colours are maybe even my favourite. So moving down to the area on the right of the bridge, I'm trying to remember what my layout was supposed to be. It's easier for me to decorate from the path first, so I concentrate around the edges of that first and move on a bit later. I did want two main focal points for this little area, one being the arch and one being the round area on the floor. I've been using the round floor pattern as a base for my larger items and I really like the look of it. I just think it really helps bring a large item into focus and makes it look a little bit more natural with the area around it. Now the arch is pretty simple, I just wanted a few trees to help frame it and some fencing to create a kind of walled in feeling. And I end up using a pillar as well to give it that sort of cohesive feel with everything else I've been doing. So on the right here through the arch, I was trying to work out what I wanted to do here since it's quite a large area, and I did use a pumpkin early to decorate the arch, and so I decided to do some sort of pumpkin patch, but I wanted it to be a little bit old and run down and abandoned looking. So I'm doing some fencing, but I don't want to completely fence it off. I use some wheat fields to cover it up a little bit to make it look like it's spilling out and that it's very overgrown and not very well maintained. And when I'm now putting my pumpkin placements down, I'm throwing them down randomly. I don't want it to look too uniformal. And with that done, I'm looking behind the pumpkin patch and there's quite a lot of space here, so I end up placing a gazebo. I think this particular one with the mossy roof looks perfect for this kind of build, and it really helps with the rundown aesthetic I'm going for. I just really wanted it to be central and to put down a couple trees around it to make it look more old and abandoned. Finally, in the pumpkin patch itself, I end up placing a whole bunch of weeds. They're not fully grown, but if I remember to do the walkthrough later, I will, of course, time skip a little bit to make sure that they're fully grown, or as best as I can at least, and to make it look that sort of overgrown and abandoned feel. Going back and I'm finishing off with my flower placements. I'm pretty happy overall with the look. At this point I'm really running low on my trees and my bushes, so I know I'm going to have to finish up soon. I still want these two areas to match, or to touch at the very least, so I'm going all the way up here to do the lion dog statue by the water, and I actually end up doing a little bit of paving on camera, which I don't do normally. So it normally takes me a little while, and I tend to mess it up a little bit, so I try not to do it too much on camera. I can easily get very carried away with paving, but I really do love this cobble pattern so much, and I still do love it so much. Here on Coven especially, it looks great, but I wanted these two areas to connect at the very least. And I do in fact realise I'm running out of materials to build with, so I'm just going to finish up with a little beach build to continue that overgrown, overspilling vibe, and when with this another one of those dead trees, a centrepiece, and a few items around it, I will probably come back and do this beach build if and when I finally decide to do my beaches, but for now I'm done. Hello and welcome back. I've been time skipping a little bit. I wanted to give a quick sort of run over through my new build that I've just been doing. However, I didn't manage to get any of the weeds in my little pumpkin patch to grow. Oh, hello. Because I got distracted. Oh, I can't come over. This isn't the right time. I'm sorry. I can't do this right now. But anyway, yeah, I was just quickly hoping to time skip and get these weeds to grow in the pumpkin patch, and I'm very happy with how it all looks. I think this will look really good once these weeds have fully grown, but unfortunately, whilst I was time skipping, a villager asked to move out, and it will be this one right here. And here she is, it's Patty. So I'm gonna go ahead and say goodbye to Patty. However, I suppose I'll be doing a villager hunt next, so look forward to that. And I'm going to be starting my next video from this room, saying goodbye to Patty once again before going on a villager hunt. I'm not sure who I'm looking for. Definitely like more Witchcore characters this time. So I don't know, maybe Roscoe. I'm not sure. I'll have to write myself a little list. Definitely Kiki. I still want Kiki. So if you're looking forward to that, yeah, that should be soon. Anyway, thanks for watching. This is quite a long video, so thank you so much if you managed to make it this far. And hopefully I'll see you next time. So remember, MumsyWord. Goodbye.